Hello, what's your name and where are you from?
Hello, I'm Roy and I'm from Norfolk in East Anglia. I have come to Telford to be with the 32 Special Interest Group today. We have, as you can probably see, quite a good number and a wide variety of models on display. We're trying to promote a 32 scale and above in particular because that's our interest. We just like them a little bit bigger than normal. So all these models that you see here today displayed are essentially models that we have probably collected over many years and have decided we have a theme. This year it's the 70th anniversary of the United States Air Force. So you'll see more USAF aircraft here than perhaps you would normally see. So these are in what we call our stashes, that's our collections, and then we'll just bring them out, we'll make them and we'll present them to the public at shows like Telford, but we do many shows right the way around the country.
That's really awesome. So would you like to talk me through some of the ones that you've built and sort of like your processes and what the kit, the models are of?
I'd be happy to do that. This particular model here is called the A10. Its nickname is the Warthog, or its official name is the Thunderbolt 2.
Right.
The people that actually live with it every day just call it the Warthog. That's its favourite nickname. This is the
Why is that?
It's basically because if you look at the shape, it's kind of big and ugly, and the shape of it reminds people of a warthog.
Yeah.
So it kind of got that name. But this is the two-seat variant. It never actually made squadron service. It was a test vehicle. They thought it would be a good idea to have a second crewman in there to do the electronic works like they did in previous aircraft like the Phantom and so forth. But this never made it because they thought, well, the single-seat version is working pretty well. It's more expensive. It's been an interesting experimentation, but they only ever built two of them. So it's got some spurious markings on it. In other words, I've played around with the colour scheme and stuff. Just had a little bit of fun with it, and that's what could have been. Yeah.
I mean, it's important that it's a fun hobby, isn't it? Do you believe that, or do you think
we
more...
always stress we do this for fun. You'll always get people that kind of want to concentrate on the detail. They want to go to the nth degree to get it absolutely right. Well, of course, there's no such thing as a perfect model. It doesn't really exist. In our minds, we would love it to exist. We put lots of little extra parts in it to hopefully make it better. But the reality is, you're trying to make this model the best you can to entertain the people that are looking at it. So it's a little bit of engineering, a little bit of artwork. We like to see it as three-dimensional art. Yeah. And that's how we approach the hobby. Yeah.
How long have you been building kits for?
Well, that'd be giving away my age, wouldn't it? But
you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
No, I can say, really, I've been modelling now for about 40 years.
Wow.
It's a long time.
Yeah. But good kits are coming out of it.
They
really.
are.
So, would you like to tell me about this kit over here? If we
certainly would do
come over here.
Sure. This particular aircraft is known as the Heinkel 162. Its name was the Salamander. It's a late war jet. The word for it in Germany is the Volksjäger, or People's Fighter. Not very successful due to the fact that the engineering was not quite perfected. It was rushed out at the end of the war. The problem was with the centre of gravity. I found out today by one of the guys that I talked to, actually spoke to the pilot, the last pilot that ever flew one of these. And he said because of the weight of the engine on top, it was very unreliable. If you put it in a turn, you would basically just roll it out of control. So you never use the pedals in there as you'd normally do to turn it. You had to use the tail and the wing ailerons to get control when you turned it. Otherwise you'd be in real trouble.
So did it ever go into service?
It went into service very short time, probably for no matter than about 3 months, from about January to March of 1945. It was generally designed to be an easy fix to get the people like the Hitler Youth to go in there, very young pilots to go in there and go on virtually a suicide mission. So they were desperate days, and they called upon this in desperate times to try and win the war, even at that late stage, but it was never going to do that. They also had problems with the materials. It's a lot of wood in the design, and the glues were coming apart as well, so that didn't help.
No, imagine it wouldn't. No.
Yeah, particularly it was all right in the dry conditions, but in wet and cold conditions, the glues really didn't stand up, and wings started dropping off and stuff, and that's not a good thing when you're
No.
when you're trying to fly it in
And
combat.
win a war.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So would you like to tell me a little bit more about the yellow nose one?
Sure. Now that's what they call the IAR80. It's a Romanian design, designed around 42, 43. Very, very sturdy aeroplane. As you can see from the design, the pilot was sitting well back from the centre of gravity. I'm not quite sure how they would have driven it forward, because when you're taxiing you need to see where you're going along the runway. So I would imagine that would have been quite a challenge. But it was a very effective fighter. It had a good design performance. It was had quite a good acceleration as well, as I understand it. So the aeroplane itself didn't go into mass production as such. I think it was probably about only 250 to 300 actually made it into service. But the airplane in itself was, I think, probably one of the few designs sort of from the mid-war period that actually lived up to its expectations.
It's generally like, are you enjoying the show? Do you come here quite
We
a
always
lot?
have a great time at Telford. It's the show. It's the biggest model show in the world.
In the world?
In the world. There's
Oh,
no
wow.
bigger model show than Telford. I think what most people like about it's not just the size, it's a big social. Us modelers, we get together, we don't see each other for a year, we kind of get together and we have a great time talking about what the projects we've been doing and all that sort of thing. And then we go away and have a beer at night, meal out, and it's just a big social with models,
Yeah.
really.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice. That's
Yeah.
really great. All right, thank you for that. I think
You're very welcome, and I hope you have a great time at Telford too.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.